to all Gambians, Gambians at home, Gambians abroad. I think Mr. Sadie, our national campaign manager, has said it all. And the reason why I have him read it, because he's under the ASD, and this is what we stand for, and this is what Alliance of Social Democrats stand for. So he has basically said everything that I want to say, but I will still elaborate on all the issues that Gambians and Gambia is going through at this precise moment. It saddens me that we have a country where our people, and I'm talking about the electorates, are complacent and easy to forget about everything that they go through. And it makes it hard for us as politicians to even try to fight for the rights of the people if the people themselves are beginning to have lapses in memory of what they have gone through and what is happening or has happened in the country. Mr. Sedi talks today about transparency. There is absolutely no transparency in the Gambian government system. And I think that is lack of respect to the citizens of the Gambia. As a citizen, these are your rights to know how your government operates. These are your rights to know what is happening in your country. That way you know whether the country is moving forward for the betterment of you, your wife, your children, your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren. A government is the people. That means you, the people, are the government. The people that are in the government, these are the executives. Basically, we as a government have selected people who are the executives to represent us. Now, how can we select people to represent us, but then they go in there and forget that we put them there? And this is exactly what is happening in the Gambia today. That is why we are at a pivotal point right now where we are asking ourselves, oh, is the president stepping down or is he not stepping down? We don't know as citizens because everything is kept in the dark. Tey bu fekkee ne dañoo wax ci gor nit ki da nga am gor den ñi nga xam ne tey yéen ñeena leen taxawal ngeen dugal leen ci biir office tey war nañoo mun a wax feeñali leen li nga xam ne moom lañ nekk di def parce que ñun ñëpp ñooy nguur gi ñoom ñoo nekk rek ñi nga xam ne dañ leen taana pour ñu toppatoo comme nguur gi ñi nga xam ne moom la ñu ooyee exécutif tey su fekkee ne lu nekk dafa nekkoon transparent den waruñ ñoo nëbbu pour xam ndax président bi dafa wàcca ndax du wàcca tey ñu ne lan mooy gor lan mooy integrity. Integrity means that even though constitution bi amanguñ constitution bu ees ñu ngi dili-dali constitution bi since 2016 2017 ñu ngi dili-dali di foyantoo xeli nit ñi tey ñu ngi wax ne waaw since 1997 la am na right. No, man maa ngi wax Adama Barrow, President Adama Barrow, maa ngi laa ñaax di la ñaan si turi Gambian si yépp ne nga consider for the sake of morale and integrity nga wàcc ci jàmma nga wàcc ci jàmma Gambian si mun a xam sax fi ñoo jëm ak fi ñoo féetee nga am respect sa famille am respect sa doom yi am respect parce que Gambian bi du téye dara si xolam Gambian bi su gisee ne defal nga ko dara day fàtte sax métit comme que Gambians ñoo mun a toog tey di wax ne na Yaya Jammeh ñëw just to show you how Gambians are seen xol bi dara nekku fa waaye bul jël advantage ne because Gambians yi they are docile dañ mun a fàtte wala dañoo wax rek bu yàggee ñu bàyyi nga ne léegi dangaa toog continuer because sa party members yi ñoo la wax nga continuer parce que parti bi dafa young. I am very disappointed, Mr. President. Parce que yow tey dafa mel ni yow tey sa party members yi boo nekkutee nguur they're not standing for you. You have to read in between the lines, Mr. President. If you read in between the lines of what they're telling you, they're basically telling you that when you are not a president, they're not going to stand with you. They're only there with you to strengthen your party, which they're lying to you. And I say it again, they're lying to you so that they can feed off of you like vultures. But they're not there for you. They're not there for the people of the Gambia. At the end of the day, they will turn around and say that, Mr. President, they did more bugon, ñun defuñ dara. We have seen that in the time of Jawara. People were blaming Sir Dawda Jawara. People were saying that Sir Dawda Jawara stole this, stole that, only for Gambians to realize that Sir Dawda did not take anything. He was a modest man. It was the people around him that were manipulative. The same with President Yaya Jammeh. Even though all the atrocities that he caused, I'm not going to minus that from what he did, but today, if he would come to justice, let us hear what he will say. Let us hear what he will confess to. Because Gambians, there's an attitude and there's a habit in the Gambia. They never take responsibility of their actions. Take decision bi nga make nii boo waroon na wàcca dañoo ne du ñoom ñoo la ko wax yow yaa ko decidal sa boppa. So continue is the same thing. And when you continue and you fail, and Gambians don't vote for you, Mr. President, mark my words, you would have regret, or you would regret to have listened to them. Gambians are angry, Mr. President. Gambians are angry. I came from the airport. From the airport all the way to the house, I have been upset. At the airport, Mr. President, I saw an immigration officer. There was plastic bag floating around. And I said to him, I don't know if it's immigration or if it's just airport security. I said to him, this plastic bag is floating around. Can you pick it up? Simple thing like that. He said he's calling somebody else. I said, you don't have to call somebody else. You can pick it up. I said, I am coming into the country. Imagine I'm a guest to the country and I see plastic bags floating inside the airport. Mr. President, they can be telling na. They can be telling na. Ni joge si diaspora bi wacha, everything is dirty. Everything is dusty. Mr. President, sa nit ñi la wor nekkuñ di liggéey. Sa executive si nekkuñ di liggéey. That is why they all want to continue. That is why they all want to stay in power. But at the end of the day, dafa dal si yow ak sa njaboot. Fii exile nañ fi ñaari president. Sir Dawda Jawara was out in exile. Léegi President Jammeh out in exile. Mr. President, do you want to go out in exile? We want to stop that. I, Marisol, as an independent candidate, buma yàlla mayee nguur te nga def li la war, man duma la exile. Because doomi réew mi nga mun ngaa toog fii. Waaye nag suñ xaalis bi fu mu dugga dinañ ko war a xam. Te yomba na bu fekkee na yow defuloo dara. It's very simple. And there is life after the presidency. Tay presidents yu bari in West Africa, they have so much to do. They're going out to other countries, mediate. There's so much chaos in Africa. Because right now, Africa nge xeex ak West bi. And Africa has to liberate itself. So we don't need distractions, Mr. President. We don't need distractions because we have a bigger fight to fight as Africans. For Africa to come, look at Burkina Faso. They are flying. You look at Senegal, our neighbor. Mr. President, it is an embarrassment right now to say I am a Gambian. Why? Because fii lañ suul suma njubax bi. Moo tax ma mun a taxaw ma ne man Gambian laa. Because I'm proud to be born in this country. No European country made me. No American country made me. Maa ngi laa ñaax ci turi doomi Gambians ak Gambians at large. Nga teg ñi la advice fale te nga def li nga xam ne tey mun ngaa doxantu biir Gambia te kenn du la wax dara dinañ la respect sax. Man loolu laa am pour wax la Mr. President. Léegi di waxtaan nag ak askan gi. Askani Gambia Gambia tollu na foo xam ne caaxaan passé na fii amut kii jigéen la kii góor la kii lii la seet leen ki nga xam ne moo leen doy ngeen taxaw ngeen jóg ñun liñ def 2016 moo raw li Sénégal def ci seen élection bi bu lañ ko tuutil what we did in 2016 was greater than any country what they did but we the Gambians we are not proud of ourselves. We think we don't do great things. Gambians do the greatest things but minimize it to nothing. We did something that no one did. No bloodshed spilled in the Gambia in 2016. And we did what we did. And we can do it again. The only difference is when we do it this time, we will not have all political party leaders be ministers. That was a mistake. That was an error. I am against political party system in the Gambia. This political party system has been embedded in our system since colonial eras. The colonialists gave us this system. Empower one man, we control that one man, and that one man control the narrative of his people. Out with that system. We need electoral reforms. This is directed to the IEC. We need electoral reforms. We need to revamp our political sphere in the Gambia. We need security reforms. My dear, we need all kinds of reforms in this country for this country to go forward. My fellow Gambians, don't be complacent. Don't be relaxed. Jóg leen lii soñ dëkk la du pour yéen su fekkee ne mag ngeen pour xale yi la pour ndaw yi la dem leen si embassy bi dem leen fi nga xam ne tey ñu ngi waxee ne xale nan ñëpp dem sign pour dem Spain seen yaram dina daw over 1,000 youth suñ góor yi 1,000 wanting to go to Spain to do what? To go and pick oranges. Can you imagine? tubaab yi sax dañoo ree pour ñu dem Europe pour for mango pour for sorans waaye ñu mun nañu am opportunité bu gën a baax loolu fii si biir seen dëkk mun nañu am opportunité bu gën a tane boobu seen dëkk te mun nañ fee taka jabar mun nañ fee nekk kilifa seen biir dëkk waaye ñoom ñëpp because of coono bi fi nekk ñu ngi bugg a daw pour dem fori sorans lii dafa daw yaram dafa ruslu tey dëkki Afrique yëpp a ngi xeex pour taxaw from North Africa to South Africa ñëpp a ngi xeex pour Gambia pour Africa liberate boppam ñun Gambia ñu ngi daw ba tey si nit ku weex ki ñun Gambia ñu ngi daw ba tey si der bu weex bi ah luñ soxla ñu dem si der bu weex bi di ñaan we are beggars. How are they going to treat our citizens? Even ñiy dem pour fori solans go and see how they will maltreat Gambians. How many calls do I get from Turkey? Our people in Turkey being maltreated. How many calls do I get from Mauritania? How many political leaders can say the same? ñëpp ak maa call because one jigéen laa yaay la I can only do so much. maa ngi ñaax askani Gambia ngeen jógal seen njaboot yi ngeen jógal seen doom yi Mr. President yaa ngi am njaboot loo yàgga si nguur benn bés di nga wàcca te bés booy wàcca billahi mun na am ma nekk fi wala duma fi nekk waaye kaay jël nguur dina la exile li ma laa ñaan nag nga xoolaat sa boppa xoolaat sa surrounding xoolaat ñi la wër te déglu nit ñi parce que nit yaa la fa teg déglul askan bi askan baa la fa teg parce que tey askan boobu moo laa save askan boobu moo laa sowe boo génnee aka ñoo am yërmande waaye ñii la wër xam nañ lu tax ñu ne la nga toog te political party am na political parties yu bari yu fi nekk nekkuñ si nguur but they are strong without being inside a system yow tey bu fekkee ne xel am na dangaa génna nga sanca sa parti bi di oo nit ñi ñëw xëj na ni nga wàccee sax teel a wàcce dina tax sa parti bi gën a strong because ñu bare dinañ la xalaataat la te dinañ bokki because amuñ fenn fuñ dem because it's a young party waaye bul jël nguur ne pour nga dëgëral déedéet ñoom dañ la ko wax pour dëgëral seen poos am nañu dugga barka démba sa biir government seen poos yi feesaanguñ amuñ fa sa at they need to develop dañ am pour am koola comme ñeneen yi so they will tell you anything to make you ride another 5 years. But Mr. President, another 5 years from 2026 is a long time, and a lot can happen. You are pushing the Gambians where it is not necessary to push them. Wallahi, you are pushing the Gambians where it's not necessary to push them. Because nit ki lum su hiifee be hiif be romba dafa am point boy romba si hiif li moo def sa du ànda sagoom gis nañ ko Sénégal de ba Macky Sall toogee bañ ne du dem ba di create problème yàlla wàcca na parce que yàlla foog mu dégg doomi Adama te booy julli di ñaan di julli 5 times a day di ñaan yàlla borom bi yàlla may la nguur teg la fa bon war ngaa déglu yàlla war ngaa togga yàlla ne ko Papa God o nga ne ko Allah ya Allah give me direction te direction bi mu laa jox mooy sa integrity mooy lan sa two term even su nekkul si constitution Gambian si naw la Gambian si taacul la Gambian si xam ne macha allah def na liggéeyam bu fekkee ne bëgga ngaa dugaat si nguur am nga opportunity dajale nga xaalis ba bari am nga opportunity toogaat an other time maybe in the next 10 years or so boo gisee ne ka fa toog nekkul di liggéey nga dawaat wala keneen sa biir parti taxawaat a political party dafa yàgga lii moo tax ma ne no to political parties anymore in the Gambia dañ soona political party bu dugga sa boppa ngaa seet sa nit ñi ngay seet doo seetati anybody outside the government sa congress bi nga def there was hardly any civilian there. Your congress was full of the government officials. Ndax loolu jar na ndax loolu correct na all your government officials they are all NPP. They are all NPP. That alone, Mr. President, is wrong. That alone, Mr. President, is wrong. Politicians have talked and talked. I think they're just tired. I think they're just giving up. Right now, ñëpp a ngi give up. Bul seet ne ñëpp a ngi laa bokk si, they're coming and you're scoring political points. Separate politics and government. Politics is politics. This is why we have a movement, because we don't want to repeat this same nonsense. Going into office with political party is an independent candidate that will have people from different backgrounds and religion working to serve our Gambia. Working together as team to save the Gambia. Because this political party, all it has brought to Gambians is grievance. It's always one sector. Right now, it's at its worst, Mr. President. Over 1,000 young Gambians going. Di leen wax ne di massa nag Gambians si waaye di leen massa wi si kaw ne ngeen jóg takka seen liggéey na yaay yëpp jóg takka seen liggéey parce que seen doom yaa sonna tey di nga am doom 35 years old ngay ko jox ba tey handout yow yaay ji instead of moom mu dem liggéey ñëw may la tey yow yaay ji yaay def loolu. It's sad. Di wax loolu tegee boor suñ former président Yaya Jammeh tamit jóg joxe kàddu waaye li ma am pour wax si kàddu boobu comme niñ wax jaruta tontu jaruta tontu waaye in a way jar naa tokki tontu politically. Mr. President bu Ba Ousseynou ne kii nga génn nga wax bu Essa Faal ne kii nga génn nga wax yaa ngi politique 24/7 but we have a national issue. What is the national issue? The national issue, former president declares that he wants to come home. Yes, you might decide not to respond, but the problem is there should be a response, and a very proper response. Because Gambians don't know what was signed on that document. And we need to know what was the agreement. If we know what the agreement is, maybe we will move on. Maybe then we will know what to respond. Because when we know what was signed, what the agreement was, then it is okay to say, okay, lii moo tax Yaya Jammeh ne dafa bëgg a ñëw waaw na ñëw citizen la waaye liñ ko war a def wala su fekkee ne loi dafa war a tegu si moom mu tegu si moom waaye fii dëkkam la mun naa ñëw wala su fekkee ne li ngeen xam ne dafa sign da ngeen ko sign warut a ñëw den ñu xam ne warut a ñëw waaye come out and let us talk. Your Minister of Communication, before coming out and miscommunicating everything, this is something he could have come out and communicated properly so that Gambians, they have the right for information. They have the right to information. Speculation dafa bari, wax bi dafa bari. Waaye soo gisee tey former President Jammeh mun a toog Equatorial Guinea di remote control Gambia because of the leadership. Moom si boppam bam toogee bañ ne Saa Dawda moom si boppam dafa ne ku fi tudda Saa Dawda wala ku bugg a indi Saa Dawda mu di la yow kenn ñemenut a wax Saa Dawda ba moom bi mu paree mu paadoon Saa Dawda egsi waaye yow Mr. President, what country are we? The other day maa ngi seetaan Senegalese TV ñu ne jigéeni Gambia yi ñoo am fit ñoo dëgër waaye seen góor yi day moom dañaa xaw a yambar lu tax because da ngeen góor yi toog si palaas dañ not suñ góor yi dañ leen not opportunity joxantuñ leen son góor yi joxuñ leen suñ góor yi benn opportunity actually góor bu nekka ngee gangalante sa moromi góor so they cannot help them waaye jigéen bu dem ne salaamaaleykum dinañ ne comment sit down you want coffee you want tea because ñu ngi xalaat naka la ñoo teddoo yow balañ laa mun a dimbali. Mr. President, dëkk bi tumuranke nañ xale yi tumuranke nañ it's high time nga xalaataat sa toogaay bala ngaa xalaat ne dangaa dem ba taataam xalaatal sa toogaay seetal sa wet ñi la njege seetal sa wet ñoom ñoo ragal waaye yow waruloo ragal pour wàcca ñoom ñoo ragal parce que xam nañ lañ def man kàddu yooyu la am tey pour dolli xool fees na because it's very emotional ni ma demee ñëw gis Gambia suma yaram daw na Gambia dafa tilim be it's like a norm kenn xalaatut kenn def liggéeyut ana councilors yi ana suñ mayors yi ana government officials yi it's nice to drive a nice car but how can you drive a nice car in a country like this? How can you bring proper investors to invest in countries like this? Come all the way to Brusubi turntable. You see how dirty, no flowers, and a flower pot, Mickey Mouse flower pot. So let's on giant flower pot. I want the people to put camera on these flower pots. Even if they would have put this flower pot, nobody can carry it. But you put Mickey Mouse flower pot underneath the weighbridge, and where are they? They are stolen or they are broken. Loolu yëpp wax naa ko fi dëkk dafa war a set ñii ñëw ñu mun a invest ndaw yi amuñ cause pour génn si dëkk bi dem uti liggéey they can stay right here and work. Mr. President, man tey lii laa am pour wax ci Gambian si wax si askani Gambia bi because nañ leen de génn di wax bu leen toog di noppi political leaders yi bu leen soona nañ leen wax man nag I am an independent candidate. As an independent candidate comme ni ma ko wax it's high time ñun jigéen ñu lead ñu ngi ut endorsement ñu endorse ñu toog ñu waxtaan ñu mun a yóbbu dëkk bi kanam ñu liggéey as a team ñu yóbbu dëkk bi kanam loolu ala am pour wax tey. Thank you also very much. Wassalam.
Thank you. Is in our vote? Yes, my party is young. Now, think we've come to the time of questions and answers, and which I think most of you come from these media houses, but maybe try to moderate so that we can have or how would you like to get it done? Yes.
Thank you so much, Madam Shock. Your statement was actually very touching indeed, and I would have actually appreciated if that was put in the question and answer session. But hence you just wanted to go ahead with what you want to say. You still have to bring yourself back to some of the questions. Now, first and foremost, I want to go by some of the areas you talked about. Number one is you spoke about our democracy facing serious malfunction. Now, I just want to know, in your view, what are the biggest threats to democratic stability in our country? That's going to be my number one question. other one, you criticize the government for having misplaced priority. If you become president, what sector will you prioritize to ensure sustainable development and national progress? And I would go to the last one, which would be on the presidential cabinet, which you made a lot of emphasis on. President Barrow initially promised to actually serve for 2 terms, but of recent we've seen his changes, and his ambition to go for the 3rd term actually sparked a lot of debate, which actually you as a aspiring independent candidate, could publish cognizant of the fact that the current constitution will not cater for anything like term limits. And the final question would be,
I think we should limit it to 1 or 2 questions, because there's others as well. You cannot, then it's a lot. Now, I will answer your first and third question. And also, you've already mentioned about the president talking about going 3rd term. That's already really a risk, or it's destabilizing our democracy. We need to also define what democracy is, because a lot of countries will sell democracy only to sell it. But when we do talk about a country and risk, or it's at a point where it's fragile, it is fragile. We have a president who 1 minute he said he will stay 2 terms. We have a president who was supposed to stay 3 years, then continue to 5 years, now 2 terms, now he wants to go 3rd term. We have an ex-president that is talking about coming back, and that people will know and threatening. So these are all threatening issues that are threatening our democracy. Not only our democracy, our peace and stability. And if the president, the sitting president, Adama Barrow, is talking about peace and stability all the time, which is like a sing-song now in his vocabulary, then the example should come from him first. Because Gambia is, because of what? Instabilities. So that, for me, creates a big instability in our democracy. Your other one about my presidency, what am I going to do? Yeah. Well, you all know about my project. I have already projects that I, created, which was a rice project, which I already even presented to the government. I have so much to do for Gambia farms. Only now, probably, they said they're growing with jar oil, I think, but we are yet to see that to come into fruition. We have fruits, we have vegetables, we don't have storage facilities, we don't have anything. We have our ports, we have our airport. Gambia is a hub, is an international hub for West Africa. This is the hub for West Africa, but to bring that back. And for us to be able to sustain the country, these are very important key areas that we have as Gambian, our SOEs, and all this to sustain Gambia to develop. And you will have access, if you want to read my manifesto, it is all there for you to see. So let's keep it brief. That's why I summarized everything for you. Yes. So it's brief because we cannot be here all day. Thank you.